So I'm going to share my screen and kind of walk you through really optimizing your sales process. We all know funnels, we all know organic marketing, and understand kind of the step by step. One of the things to make sure that if someone's jumping on a call with us, that they are qualified, they're solution ready is really, really important. But also taking someone through a buyer's journey and understanding each part of like a funnel, and also looking at your organic content the same way as a funnel, because that's really what social media platforms are. It's tech just like a funnel, to where you're running ads, you have a landing page, you have a VSL or a webinar or some other written asset to move them through the next phase to continue going until they purchase from you. And there's a lot of ways to build funnels. I'm not going to get into all the different styles of funnels and break them down, but it could be a book of call funnel, it could be a lead magnet funnel, it could be a low ticket ascension type of funnel. All of these funnels I can build for you to generate clients and generate sales. But just looking at the very basics of each step to really understand how to optimize sales process is really, really, really important for a lot of people to understand. And that's where you get the difference of if we're running ads to a book a call funnel and getting a bunch of unqualified people or a bunch of no-shows. Why is that? Everything it's from the front end, and it could be a lot of different reasons why. Same thing if you're organically putting out content. Are people moving through a buyer's journey to book a call with you? And so understanding each little piece, each little mechanism, what the importance of it is, what assets you kind of need in place, and what those assets need to do to actually take someone from knowing nothing about you to knowing that you are the one with a potential solution, and then showing them how you actually provide their ideal outcome and the results they're looking for. So let me share my screen here real quick. So I want to look at it. I want you to look at it first as tech. So the very first part is your lead generation attraction. So if you think of it this way, you're running an ad on Facebook or running an ad on YouTube or Instagram, wherever it may be, you're running an ad. That ad is to gather their attention. Now, if we're running a funnel, I'm going to go through each step of how I set up to optimize a sales process and the reason kind of why behind it. And I will get into other videos to really dive in deeper to each section, because each section does have multiple layers of how to really dial this in. It could be from calling out the ideal clients, pushing away the others. It could be overcoming fears, doubts, discussing objections, ideal outcomes, the secret sauce, like all those details. I don't want to get into this video, into this video and really make this long. I want to make this really quick so you can see the overall picture. And then other videos will go through the details of a lot more specifics. And also that's what I'm here for, is to help you through as you're working with me, is writing the stuff for you, helping you build out these pieces, make sure that these are all dialed in. And the other good thing is, because of going through this, we can test really, really fast, because we can alter and change things very, very quickly. I'll have another video kind of about that too, when we come down to starting to optimize messaging, when we're talking about really looking at your ideal client, things that the target market's telling us. As an example, you take 5 sales calls, you close 2, 3 don't. What do those 3 tell you that potentially we could put into your optimized sales process to help overcome individuals in that same spot? So then all of a sudden now you start closing 4 out of 5 rather than 3 out of 5, or 5 out of 5 instead of 3 out of 5, right? And that's the important process of optimizing your sales process. And if you're running ads, you really should be testing and changing things consistently. That's a beautiful thing about organic too. You can test and change things a lot quicker without spending a dollar. And one thing through organic, and there's a lot of clients I work with that they've only used paid ads, and they're moving to actually learning organic process or vice versa. But a lot of the clients that started with ads, they burn through a ton of money and they think that their marketing message is on point, but it's not. But then through organic, in a few short months, we can really figure out, okay, this stuff is really working. Then you apply that to your funnel, and all of a sudden that funnel becomes immediately profitable. There's a lot of people out there that say that webinars, VSLs, all that stuff is dead, running ads to it. Well, that's not true. There's a lot of really successful people out there doing it. The problem is making sure that you are speaking to the right individuals and you have steps and processes going through that's disqualifying individuals. Because if you're booking 10 calls a day, 7 of them no show. Out of the other 3, they're unqualified. You don't want to spend 10 hours a day on a phone and not make any money. And that's a really, really, really important thing to understand is we can really perfect that funnel by doing organic as well, because all that goes hand in hand. And so again, if we start at the very beginning, you're running an ad at the very beginning. Now the next step, they click on an ad. What happens? They go to a landing page, and that's that lead capture. It's to get engagement. That landing page oftentimes is telling people, okay, you clicked, here is the landing page. The landing page job is this is for people who are this, right? Now you're going to discover this, and it's not for people that aren't looking for this. So it's a barrier that is starting to qualify and disqualify people. And think of it this way: if you were jumping into 2 different lines, right-handed people over here, left-handed people over here, you know exactly which line you're going into. And so a landing page should essentially do that, saying, hey, we're looking for left-handed people, and then discuss about, hey, the left-handed people, hey, left-handed people, you're looking at ways of doing this, and get these outcomes, right? And so now it's even qualifying people even more. Then if they're ready to move forward, if they're left-handed, they're looking for those results, entered information, they go to a VSL or some sort of written content. And this is to nurture, educate, and convert people into the next step. And we should have more specific language in there talking about the outcomes that they want, how you get it there. We all know how a webinar kind of works. There's a lot of different styles out there, but you're basically selling them on your process. We have to nurture them, educate them, and get them to convert into the next step. And again, there's a lot of frameworks and psychology to be used through that process of what to give them, what information, whether it's more of a marketing standpoint, whether it's more of a sales standpoint, whether you're going off Russell Brunson's perfect webinar formula, whether you're doing a 5-shift style, whether you're doing more of a vlog style, whether you're doing a podcast style, whatever it may be. The key there is there are certain frameworks that we need to go through and also touch on certain points to get that person to want to take the next step and not just be done. Now, also, you should be tracking and testing how that converts also, which we will get to in another video. Now, one of the things, as an example, in some VSLs and webinars that I do for clients that might be struggling with getting people that have no money, and not they're not getting the money objection. The people that are coming in literally have no money, right? And there's a difference there between a money objection and someone that doesn't actually have money. Now, an example would be, a couple minutes in, hey, if you're somebody that's looking for a $97 solution for a $100,000 problem, you're in the wrong place. And call that out really immediately, because there are people that are just looking for a $97 solution. That's not the person you want to go book a call if you have an offer that's $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, because that person will show up like, I don't have any money for that. Or, wow, that's way bigger than what I thought. And that's a huge problem with a lot of people with their marketing, is they're attracting everybody and letting everybody through. And that's a scarcity type of thing of like, just open doors, let anybody in, rather than actually going through the process of, this is my ideal client, this is who I'm looking for, this is their desire, this is where they're at in their life, and this is what they are able to actually pay to change their situation. And so all of those details need to be talked about. Otherwise, you get a lot of calls that are really, really bad. Now, on a typical funnel after that, you would have like here's a book a call and an application at that point. And then they show up on a call. One thing that I do with my funnels to optimize the sales process is once a call is booked, is to have another video or written asset that is pre-selling materials and you're priming them before the call. And that priming them during that process is going deeper and more specifically and kind of almost peek behind the curtains of what it looks like for them working with you. Lots of times people jump on watch a webinar, book a call 2-3 days out. Now science shows that, hey, if you go to a 2-day event, how many times like the next day you're like, oh my gosh, what did we talk about on Saturday when it's Monday afternoon? Studies show you lose 85% of what you learned within 48 hours. So if someone's booking a call with you 24, 48 hours or longer, the chances of them even remembering what your webinar was about is very, very minimal. They might have like one little thing that they're remembering. That is not enough information. That's not enough confidence or certainty in that individual to go, yes, I'm going to pay you $5,000, I'm going to pay you $10,000, I'm going to pay you $20,000, because they don't really have any idea. Even if you're a really good sales professional, it's going to make it more difficult. And a lot of business owners I work with are solopreneurs. We are coaching on sales. They are getting better on sales, but a lot of individuals aren't the best salespeople out there. And you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by not having pre-sale materials because someone's kind of coming in blind. And so if they're coming in blind, your proposal has to really be nailed in. You have to be very, very good at that. And lots of times you have to be very, very good at the front end of really figuring out what they want, what their desires are, getting them to make a commitment and why they need to make a change to go through. But that's where these pre-sale materials are really, really important. It's an asset that once they book a call, gets sent out to them. Hey, we want you to watch this before you show up to your call. It's going to give you a ton of detail, right? And it breaks down aspects of your program. Now, we don't want to have just features and benefits because people don't buy because features and benefits. They buy because of results. So we want to be talking about the quick way that you get them results that is different from everything else out there, and also overcome specific doubts they might have in their mind. Hey, is this going to work for me or not? We want to knock that out of the park so they view you as a no-brainer. Yes, I know this is going to work for me. And yes, it's going to give me results quick. Yes, I want to work with this individual. I know they can solve my problem. So now when they show up to the sales call, they have a much better understanding of who you are. And the example I always use, let's say you were going to go out and buy a house. Over the next 60 days, you walk through 3 houses. You like 2 of them. Now you don't put money down on both of them. Most people are going to go walk through both of those houses again. Now, just to preface this, obviously the market is completely different right now. So just kind of use analogy for what it's worth. But you're choosing 3. One, you know immediately, nope, not at all. The other 2, you want to go walk back through them again. You choose one. Then you go back for one final walkthrough and also have someone come in and do an appraisal on the house, right? You're checking these boxes each step of the way to go, yes, we're going to put $100,000 on this house. This is the ideal one that we want. Boom, done. You're doing your due diligence, right? It's the same thing sometimes when you're car shopping. You take it out for a test drive. Majority of people, their funnel is just showing a commercial going, hey, buy my car, and then going to a sales call, right? Imagine if you were watching a commercial on TV for your favorite car. You're like, oh my gosh, I want one of those so bad. And immediately you got a sales call from somebody and they started trying to sell you the car over the phone. How many? Yeah, there'd be some people who would buy, but what percentage would actually be ready to buy? No, people would want to go test drive it. And so that's the importance of having the sales process dialed in. So it's taking your ideal client not only through a journey from going from problem aware to solution aware, but solution ready. I'm ready to solve my problem. I'm ready to buy. But more importantly, I know that you have the answer to what I'm looking for. So now when they come on the sales call, that's a lot more powerful sales call, a lot more direct, a lot more specific. There's a lot more leadership, conviction, and certainty that happens through that call. So that would be a webinar funnel or a book a call funnel in those assets. Now, looking at your organic content the exact same way. So the first section, the lead attraction, which would be your ad that you're running, well, every post you're putting out is that ad. But at the same time, you're also doing some lead capture and engagement through that, and they kind of become one. So the different styles of the posts that you put out, and these type of posts, because they're organic, that each post isn't going to be the perfect ad, and it shouldn't be. You can't post ads on social media. People would turn it off really quick. So you need a strategy behind that, which we'll go through in another video, and talking about things like your belief shifters, your insight ads, your call to action ads, your hand raiser ads, your cash collecting content posts. All of these are different variables of posts, but it's all there to lead attraction and lead capture and get engagement going. Now, the next piece of that through that is getting people that you're actually having DMs with. So, kind of like when you have a landing page, they enter information, they go to the next section. When we're posting, what we want to do is have all of those posts lead to the next step, which isn't a landing page, but a conversation. This could be done in the comments, but then moving it directly into the DMs. And the DMs is where we can start having a conversation with them at that point. Now, this conversation is not a sales conversation. The goal of this conversation is discovery and also continue to nurture, educate, and prime them to jump on a sales call. So as you're having that conversation, you could be giving them different assets, and I help clients build different assets. It could be a lead magnet. It could be a video. It might be you send them the VSL or a webinar or a written doc, which is there to nurture and educate and convert them. Just like if you're, again, so if we're looking at a webinar funnel, ad, landing page, webinar, content online, content online, content online, comment, move to DMs, couple questions, send them to the VSL or the webinar. So same process, it just, this is being done manually and bringing that in. Now, when you think manually and organic, it doesn't mean 10 hours a day, right? Like you're organic, and I help my clients kind of really build out that organic structure. So basically, you're putting 1 or 2 posts out a day. They're already preset, pre-done. You're not spending an hour thinking what you're going to put. Boom, boom, boom. Each piece that's being put out has a very specific reason. It could be for attraction. It could be for engagement. It could be insight. It could be shifting beliefs. It could be educational. Or it could be some sort of cash collecting content, which is getting someone to reach out to you to want to actually jump into the DMs, get something from you, moving them into the next phase of the process, which is giving them an asset. Once you get that asset, you kind of continue the conversation. And at that point, you can either have someone jump on a call at that point because you've qualified them enough, or maybe sell them a priming video or priming document that gets them further and then sending them the link. Now, either way, I might, depending on the conversation I'm having with someone, I might give them a time to book on my call and then send them priming video. Sometimes I flip that. I send the priming video first. I want to make sure, hey, I want to make sure you have all the details before you even book on my calendar. Compared to, hey, cool, you like what you see, here's a link, jump on. It really depends on my my day, my month, and my week at that point. Do I have time to jump on someone that might not be pre-sold yet? Am I going to let them jump on as someone I want to talk to either way? But then getting the pre-sale material, because sometimes once they book the call, then I send the pre-sale material. It will happen on occasion. So, people will cancel. Hey, this isn't for me. Sorry, because all of a sudden they realized that, hey, this wasn't a $97 solution to a $100,000 problem. You are a lot higher than that. And you don't need to always put money in there. And I rarely do, but people are going to quickly realize, like, oop, I'm in the wrong place. And one of the examples I use is someone that's looking for a $10,000 Honda, used Honda. They're not, the moment they walk into a Lamborghini dealership, they're like, oop, I'm in the wrong place. That's what you want all this content and this optimized sales process to go. You want someone to go, yes, I'm looking for a Lamborghini. I'm in the right place. I want to talk to a sales individual, compared to someone that's looking for a $10,000 used Honda going, oh, I'm in a Lamborghini dealership. I'm going to talk to a sales professional anyway. That we don't want to ever happen, which is why this optimized sales process is so important, especially as the market has become so sophisticated and really a lot more lacking a lot more trust in the market, a lot more lacking conviction, certainty, because they have a lot more awareness because they've been burned in the past. So it's really important that we take someone through this optimized sales process, because if you run an ad to something very just basic, very general, I'm just going to use an example. Hey, do you want to become a business owner and make $100,000 a month? Book a call with me. Now you're going to get a ton of people probably to book a call with you, but a lot of them are going to be looking for a get rich quick scheme. And your ideal client probably is not looking for a get rich quick scheme. They're probably looking for a franchise. So that ad would actually turn away people that are looking for a franchise business opportunity, know that they can just drop some money, plug and play, and the business is going. So that ad would actually attract the wrong people and repel the right people that you're looking for. Now, in today's day and age, even your ideal client comes in, lots of times they've already gone through clicking on an ad. They've gone to a landing page. They've watched a webinar and jumped on a sales call. But when they showed up to that sales call, they weren't informed enough to buy. And so either the salesperson was able to enroll them and then they didn't get the result because they were in the wrong place once they realized, or they didn't get the result and go, oh my gosh, I've fallen for this for and I failed in the past. So I'm a lot more weary about what I'm going to do this next time, because I can't drop another $10,000 and fail again. I can't drop another $10,000 and not move the needle forward in some way. And it makes it hard for a sales professional then to overcome some of those fears that haven't watched or totally know what you do, which is why those pre-sale materials come into play. And your organic should be doing the same. And so if you're just putting out posts and you don't have a process to move them into the DMs, good luck. You're not going to have a lot of sales opportunities because you're not moving someone into that private conversation. You're basically hoping I put out a post and someone's going to magically message me today. Nope. You need to have something that's moving them into the DMs. You can start that conversation and talk to them directly. And that's where the lead capture comes into play. You might not be getting their email and their phone number, but you just captured that email, that individual by getting them into the DMs. And that's very, very key. It's also the same thing with cold email, which we can talk about in later videos as well, of sending out mass emails that just, hey, click a link, rather than sending out an email that says, hey, email me back to get this and we'll do this. That's capturing somebody. You already have their email, but it's capturing that and moving it into an engagement. And that's the key with all of the content you put out, not just to capture their attention, but it's to get engagement to happen. And that engagement only happens by getting someone into your DMs or communicating with them on comments at first. So that's how this process works. So think, if we're going just organic, your posts, are to attract attention, shift beliefs, show your insights, show your expertise, educate them. And over the course of time, and this can be a couple days, this can be a couple hours. For some people, for some leads, it might be a couple months where they're continually seeing these things go out, where they eventually reach out because of a post you did and they go on the DMs. And then you start that conversation. And then you'll have assets where you send them a webinar or a VSL or a document that is going to nurture, educate, and help convert them to the next step to want to talk with you on the phone. And then you'll have pre-sale materials to send them at that point to get them really dialed in, know exactly why they're showing up, get the purpose for them showing up was to buy from you, and the perspective of you knowing exactly that you can solve their problem. So very, very simple, very, very easy. Where people fail, they don't consistently post. Or if they are consistently post, it's not attracting their ideal client. It's not moving them into the DMs. And they think what they're putting out is bad, but nothing they did really got someone to move to the next step. It didn't tell them to move to the next step. If you're constantly putting out the same thing over and over and over again, as an example, doing a live video on social media every single day, and you're talking and you're talking. Now I'm going to use this video example. If I send it, cool, there you go. Nobody is there. It's not like all of a sudden I'm going to post this and have 20 people, Scott, let me buy from you. No. Now, if in this video I say, hey, if this video was helpful, comment below. I'm going to show you the next step of, now that you know how to optimize the sales process, let's optimize the sales communication within that process. So now every ad you put out or every piece of content is actually speaking to the right individual, and have each asset in place that is going to convert and bring someone through a buyer's journey to book calls, pre-sold, ready to work with you. Comment below and I will send you that video. So right there, I told somebody and moved them through the next part of the process to get another video that's going to help pre-sell them. And it works the same thing with every single offer. And that's how easy this can be. Now, easy doesn't always mean simple. And easy doesn't always mean immediate either. Now, the good thing with organic and the way that the market is moving right now, it's permanent real estate. So if you run an ad, you pay $1 per view. You paid $1 for one person to see that for 3 seconds. Now, to get in front of that person for another 3 seconds, you need to pay $1 again, and then $1 again, and $1 again, and $1 again. Where if you're doing organic, you're posting every single day, that stays there. Now, if you're out there and growing actually your connections on social media, that let's say you send me a friend request today. Cool, we're friends. And all of a sudden you see a post of mine, like, oh, that's really, really helpful. Or that's, wow, that's, and you're my ideal client. My content hits you. Well, social media is going to show you more of my posts. So tomorrow you're going to see another one of my posts. Now, at that point, that post might tell you to jump into my DMs, or that post might intrigue you enough. You decide to scroll through my profile and you read 3, 4, 5, 10 of my past posts, which is selling you further on me. That's permanent real estate. Now, you might not be ready to buy in that moment, but now you're getting educated on who I am, how I think, problems I solve, how I solve them. So now all my continued posts, I have some sort of trust. I have some sort of authority. I have some confidence. You have some confidence in me and what I do and what I provide. You might not be ready to buy right now, but at a certain point, you're going to be like, okay, cool, I'm going to reach out and ask for this. And then all of a sudden you're in my sales process. Now, also, you can be reaching out to individuals and just starting conversations with them as well. that can be very beneficial to your overall outreach. We'll do another video on that as well. I don't want to get into details on that. But so the very simple thing is you post to get people into your DMs. You can send them an asset, have them book a call, send them pre-sale material. It's that simple of a step in a process. And so if you handle each situation that way, just post daily with the content I put together for you and we talk about. And that's written form, short form, video, and each one of those sections are going to be a little bit different as well. And also we'll have another video kind of about the different social media on the different platforms because each one's a little bit different. So we'll break that down as well. So I'm a firm believer that yes, you should prioritize one or two platforms, but also you should be building the other ones at the same time. They might not be optimized with the content going out, but you're still building a foundation there that once you get one and one of the first two optimized and it's just running autopilot, then you can focus on putting out content that's more maximized, which we'll do a video about that. So just remember, it's that easy. Posting daily, moving people to DMs, send them an asset that's going to nurture, educate, convert them, book a call with them, send them the priming videos, and you're good to go. And you're optimizing that sales process. And again, if you're running a book a call funnel, having these pieces optimized is really, really key as well. So we will talk soon.